Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel LearnRHEL, Learnrhel. Most of you that are following this channel already know that, but in case there's any new additional folks, audience, whatever, trying to watch these videos, this is the channel where you can learn about Red Hat Enterprise Linux variants such as ALMA-Linux, Rocky-Linux, CentOS, CentOS-Stream, and so on. Now, if you are a Debian variant, these are such as Ubuntu or something along those lines, some of the stuff in these videos will work, but some of the stuff will not because they are not precisely from the same fork of projects. And that's because the different operating systems want to do that. All right, today's topic is actually going to be about Hostnamectl. That is Hostnamectl. And you always want to do it executing with escalated privilege. So either sudo space hostnamectl like this, or escalate the privilege, which means getting to root, and then you can do everything with that account. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of root, and I'm going to demonstrate, hopefully, to some success here, just the execution of hostnamectl. All right, and basically by doing this command with my own account, sorry, that was kind of screwy, with my own account and on my machine here, you'll see that the host name here is what matches the static host name identifier there. And there is a way to change this host name. I'm going to demonstrate it for the sake of the video, but I'm also going to demonstrate how to change it back. Okay, so host name CTL and then set hyphen host name, and I'm just going to put simply VVV. Okay, and if I hit the enter key, I'm expecting that to not actually work because I would have expected it to be a requirement for a sudo execution of hostnamectl with this command or escalated privilege in advance. So let's see if that actually changed the name of the host in terms of at least this field, because this is actually based on the host name, but because we have not rebooted yet, it won't be observed. So let's do this. Okay. So we've changed the name to VVV. We'll change it back to my host name as soon as we do a reboot. But when we come back up, because the way this prompt is designed, it should actually show VVV instead. Let's go ahead and do a reboot. Okay, so the machine's booting. Yeah, we're checking the background. None of this is actually relevant to the actual video. I'm just keeping an eye on what's going on here. Okay. The screen's going black. We've got to wait for the system to fully boot and display graphics. Again, that's not really relevant to the actual video. Not entirely, anyway. Okay. Log in with my same account. So that's a little bit alarming to me because we just changed the name of this host without any escalated privilege. To me, talking to the audience, I would think that would be a security concern because in the days past, at least as far back as 20 years ago, you would install an operating system in some application if you're installing it on a server, which was most of the predominant reason why you install Linux is for running it on servers. Not the only reason, but the predominant reason is that you would install it and then the application such as a database would actually find its way to require the host name of the machine. But instead of asking you what is the host name of your machine, it would simply look at the host name of the machine by doing some sort of library check in the background, execution rather, in the background, and just simply getting the host name back. Okay, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. And I'm just letting you know up front that you probably should not run this command as a generic user. I kind of expect that this particular command should be running with escalated privilege, such as root. So keep this in mind. If you are a basic beginner user of Red Hat and you're working with these tools and operating systems in a working environment as opposed to just doing it to learn some other operating system from home and make mistakes and you're okay with it, if you change the host name of your machine, you could potentially break an application that you need to use in a working environment. So be careful. All right, so with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and do the hostnamectl set -hostname command. And therefore, much larger text so you can read it. And I'm going to put it back to my original hostname, which is A8-YTB-DEV001. And I'm going to go ahead and reboot again. Actually, I'm not going to reboot. We'll just go ahead and do the hostname command. And we can see that the static hostname has been set. All right. So when I reboot, my prompt here will be corrected, just so we're clear. All right. So the next subcommand to hostnamectl we're going to do is called set icon name. Now, icon name is actually set and produced every time you simply run hostnamectl without any arguments. Okay. So the options you can use for set -icon -name are actually free text. So I'm going to change this from computer name to laptop, from computer-VM to laptop-VM, because technically I'm running this in a virtual machine. The virtual machine application is called Oracle VirtualBox, and I'm running it on my laptop. Okay, so that's my logic for using such a string to set -icon name. And I'm just going to simply type laptop-VM. So this is free text. You can type whatever you want in there, and it can be multiple strings, meaning multiple words and names, double quote wrapped. Okay, if you do it without the double quotes, it might come clean to you. So just be aware of that. I'll show what I mean. All right, so I've changed it from computer-VM to laptop-VM. Let's try doing the change one more time. Let's do widget 1. See that? Too many arguments. What that means is you actually need to double quote wrap this as a single argument to this, and you can use whatever text you want between the double quotes, but it has to be double quote wrapped. Okay? So I've demonstrated that problem for you, and I'm going to set it back to the original argument, which is computer-VM. We'll do a hostname CTL. There we go. Set back. Okay. All right. So the next thing we can do is actually change the chassis. So we can change this field here to something else. Now with chassis, it actually has a restricted set of identifiers. So no free text. You have to use what's defined already. And if you need to know what that is so that you can remember, you can always do a man on host name CTL spacebar, come back down here and find set -chassis argument. And then you can see in this list, these are the restricted list of values you can provide. Desktop, laptop, convertible, server, tablet, handset, watch, embedded, and then in the cases of special chassis types, it could be a VM or a container. Okay. So in my case, I'm going to go ahead and just leave it as set-chassis. But you could actually, even in my case, even though I'm running a virtual machine, I could do um, host name CTL set-chassis and then specify some other arguments. Well, let's go ahead and do that. Sorry. We'll just go ahead and do it. I know I'm waffling here. I'm doing that just to demonstrate the fact that I can execute the command without sudo, still bothers me, and then see that it changed. So now I'm lying to you, right? When I do hostname CTL chassis. So I don't like that. I'm not comfortable with it, and I'm going to go ahead and set it back to VM. All right. So a couple more subcommands we can use is set deployment, set-deployment, and this one can also be free text, but it has to be a single string, not multiple words with double quotes wrapped around it, just a single string. Now, you can use a non-alphanumeric character, and I'm not sure if we see this or not, so I'm going to point it out. Yep. So the the deployment for here is actually not specified. So let's do this. Hostname CTL set-deployment. And I'm going to use something that I do as a custom for myself. LearnRHEL -studio. And again, you don't see the output here. Do you notice the field name is not even listed? There is no field here called deployment. So be aware of that. I don't have to wrap this in double quotes, but I do have to have a single string of characters. All right. Let's run the hostname CTL by itself again. And now we have the term deployment listed. It wasn't before, but it is now. Right? So that's free text, but you have to do a single string. All right. Finally, we have the subcommand called set-location. And that is how you can free text it multiple strings and say, hey, my laptop, but it's the one up in the upstairs in the office, or it's the one that everybody in the family uses, or it's the one used for the lab guys who are working on DNS changes, or it's maybe the one for the lab guys that are working on integration with, heterogeneous network with like Linux and Unix. Sorry, Linux, Unix, and Windows or something like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this. We'll do a host name CTL set-location. And like I said, it can be free text. I'm in my home. I make these videos for my home. I don't do this professionally. Oops, my living room. Again, free text, but it has to be wrapped with double quotes. Okay, host name CTL, and there we go. Now the location says my living room. And that's it, folks. That's the very end of the video. Thank you for watching my videos. And you got any comments or suggestions for topics you want me to cover, please let me know.